Now, sometimes you wonder if it is always too late to apologize in politics. You know, this is what seems to be playing out in Ondo State, where the #1 citizen there, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, Keti they call him, flatly rejected the apology tendered by his embattled #2 man, Lucky Aiyedatiwa. Well, this is as a result of the embarrassment that is ongoing in the state. I hear that in politics, while saying I'm sorry is like saying I love you with a wounded heart in one hand and your bruised pride in the other hand.
Well, I think it's all about the next election. And the issue is there are two contending blocks within the APC. You know, those who think that the deputy governor should be the next governor, and of course the governor who feels that when he was away, the deputy governor did not handle his own very well. I understand they are presenting some information to him about what the deputy governor said in his absence. You know, and some of them I understand were even recorded, and that is behind the wave of protests, you know, saying that the governor should resign. So I think, for me, the issue has to be managed cleverly, because we still have at least about 1 year before the next election. I also feel that the way things are now, I think the deputy governor is negotiating from a position of weakness, because the petition signed, about 21, I think out of 26, signed the petition, including 2 PDP members. You know, so he only has support from, I think 3 people from his Akeredolu constituency. Okay. So if you base it on the control of the state assembly that has the constitutional power to remove the deputy governor, I think he has lost the game. So only the magnanimity of the party leadership and the magnanimity of the governor that I think can save him from being impeached. But I hope they can still manage things very well. It's easy to say I'm sorry, but you know, in politics, when you say good night, it means different things. You know. So I hope the party leadership will intervene. Though the party leadership has, you know, the party chairman has actually intervened, but I don't think the two parties are yielding grounds. So as things stand,
they say the first cut is the deepest.
Yes. As things stand, it's only God that can save the deputy governor from being, you know, removed from that position.
Judy, you are wondering, many of our politicians hardly pay attention or pay heed to a book like, I've mentioned it before, 48 Laws of Power. Law number 3 says, don't stretch your hand too soon. I cannot forget it.
I think that it was Governor Akeredolu that stretched his hand too soon, because he made it clear from the night of their inauguration that he wanted Lucky Aiyedatiwa to succeed him. You don't do that in politics. Buhari was faced with that situation. They asked him, whom do you want to see succeed? He said, I have someone in mind, but if I mention it, they will crush the person. He said it. What, I mean, even where I was saying, it went viral. That's a man who knew that, look, if I show this person so much love, it will breed hatred for him and all that. And this is what, in my view, has caused this man's problem. I see 14 allegations. I've looked at those allegations. You can imagine accusing someone of trying to spend so amount of money, over 100 million, to buy a bulletproof vehicle for himself. And I asked the question, did he buy? Did he buy? He said no, that in fact he routed it through the wrong person. that he sent it to the SSG to approve. He didn't. That means in the end, he didn't commit the offense. But what we had initially was that he spent that money and that he took the money from the money meant for palliatives, live from the pit of hell. This deputy governor never took any money to buy a car from palliatives, from what was meant for palliatives. This is a fight between them. I think it's best for us not to get our hands soiled over a matter between two politically greedy contending groups. This is what I see. And when people are politically greedy for power, when they are greedy for power, it's difficult for them to yield.
Anything gives.
So the way it is, now this is, I've said it before, and I had the deputy governor say that even to the journalists that he addressed, that this is just tussle for power. Those allegations are ridiculous. You need to look at them one after the other. They're ridiculous. You cannot. It's just unfortunate that in a country where we find ourselves, the judiciary, naturally, the House of Assembly doesn't have the final say on whether these allegations are true or not. The judiciary has the power to constitute a panel that will look into those allegations. And if the judiciary, in its wisdom, the CJN, I mean the Chief Judge of the state, that's his mandate. If the Chief Judge returns a verdict that these allegations are worthless, you can't impeach him. It happened to Almakura in Nasarawa State now. So you can gather all the signatures. In Nasarawa State, PDP had total control of the House, but they couldn't remove Almakura because that panel returned a no guilty verdict. That's what happened. And at the end of the day, Almakura finished his 8 years. So I'm not saying that that's what will happen here, but we have suggested that, look, as brothers, you can resolve these things.
Yeah.
But the governor's mood has been fouled terribly by people who have been going to him that he said this, he said that, he said this, he said that, you know, that is after your position. I just don't understand. That's why we're having, and if the party intervenes, and we say party is supreme, we respect party leader. If the party intervenes, and you are hearing assembly members come back 2 or 3 days later to say the impeachment is on course. The only reason they've not removed this man is because of the court cases. Because one of the court orders put even proceedings related to his impeachment in abeyance. And the CJ of the state will not go against the court order. Any chief judge in a state that goes against a court order will eventually pay for it.
Yeah, setting a
when in Ekiti State, they were desperate to remove Fayose. And I think they even added Olujimi at that. And Olujimi, they didn't have any evidence against Olujimi yet. They were bent on impeaching her. The assembly, knowing that the chief judge would not support their action, decided to suspend the chief judge, and they didn't have the power. They now brought in their own, they put somebody in acting capacity just to have their way. They impeached Fayose illegally. The court, the highest court in the land, declared that it was an illegal impeachment because you can't build something on nothing. You have no right to, you don't have the power to suspend a CJ. But you did it. That job is for the NJC. You did it. So whatever you did afterwards amounted to nothing. That's why Fayose was able to come back and contest. Because if he had been impeached, he would need 10 years before he could hold any elective position. So there are lessons.
So it's not yet Uhuru then?
No, it's not. It's not. They can't even proceed with proceedings. They told they said that they were ready for talks, that the deputy governor should go and withdraw those cases. And I guess the man is not keen to withdraw. You will withdraw when you see signs that, okay, they too are ready for concrete talks. Look at what happened in Ondo State. The governor and the deputy governor was prevailed upon. They spoke to church leaders. They spoke to powerful people. They prevailed upon the deputy governor. He withdrew the cases that he filed.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Today, he apologized to he said, whatever embarrassment I've caused you, I apologize. And the governor said, well, if it comes from your heart, but I don't know if it comes from your heart, then as a Christian, I forgive you.
So be it, yeah.
And we have peace there now, at least. Where the governor said, go and the office that he gave him, he went there, he spiritually sanitized the place, and he's using the place. You can see that for the past 2 or 3 weeks, the kind of stories coming from Ondo State, they are no longer coming.
Yeah.
Because he has withdrawn the case. If there is no blood between the two groups, all of these things that are happening will not be happening.
Why?
For me, it is. I'm concerned about Ondo people because they are the ones suffering. The governor is away; is not exercising his duty. The person who should do the job in his absence, you are not allowing him to work because you brought impeachment plot. So it's the state that is suffering. There is no doubt about it. There is a vacuum created by this needless conflict.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it said when 2 elephants fight, the grass suffers. While when the same two elephants engage in a love tango, the same grass suffers. So now it's not up. The people are not in the game. It's just the two of them.
There is no way that the dispute will not affect governance in the state. You know, because it's like if you go to Ondo State, I think for the past 1 year, you know, there has not been, you know, the kind of moment we have in Ondo State. It's not what it's supposed to be. So the focus now is on between the governor and his deputy. And the ESCO, the political leadership, factionalized along the two lines. So definitely it's going to affect, you know, governance and whatever progress that state is going to make. That's why it's in the interest of the people, for the two of them to find
a common ground. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, because what they are fighting for is not actually about, it's not about policies that affects the ordinary man on the street. It's about contest for individual power.
Yeah.
So it's better for them to look for a way out so that, you know, the state can move forward.